You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you with another Let's Play episode of No More Future, and I've got Sedge with me once again.
Maybe. Actually I'm pretty sure I am here, so hi.
Yes, see the voices in my head? Everyone can hear them now. But anyway, is there anything you'd like to say before we begin?
Just that I'm very excited to do this episode. Let's see how the story develops from here.
Alright. Oh, and I would like Sedge to know that my first No More Future video was one of the most popular videos on my channel for the entire month.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty cool.
people like this. I think this kind of dual reading kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna...
To be fair, I did kind of send a lot of people your way from my Discord server.
Yeah, and I
don't tell anyone.
I definitely appreciate it. But anyway, guys, let's jump right into it. I am starting the alarm. 30 minutes, is that good with you, Sedge?
Yeah, of course. Should
Alright,
be enough
guys.
to cover everything.
Perfect. Alright, just let me know if I need to stop at any time, okay?
No worries.
Alright, here we go. Okay. Are you sure? No. Let's load.
No, you want to load.
There. What is going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, we're
Alright.
in there.
So we came back and we were talking about whether the transition would work or not.
Mm-hmm.
But are they a real person? Or just a highly advanced AI mimicking a real person? No, believing they're a real person. Of that, we're still in the dark.
That's ridiculous. How can you not know whether it actually works or not? What's the whole point of this technology if you can't be sure if it's real people in there or not? The tone of your voice is steadily rising, earning a few stares from the people in the cubicles around you. You can barely feel their judging stares on your frail and meekly body, invested in this conversation as you are.
It's not so simple. The process using transfer people's consciousness into the machines, the transition, it's completely unlike anything humanity's ever conceived. Impossibly hard to explain, too. Hell, not even I know the details, and I'm in charge of the whole thing. I know you probably think we're stuffing people in those androids, but the truth is that we aren't. Not even their brains. Even if they could survive in there, in time they'll rot as well. All organic matter decays eventually. It would be prolonging the inevitable. And that's not what we set out to do. The only thing we're trying to transfer from a human into a synthetic is their consciousness. Their ego, their soul, their humanity. Something that could, theoretically, survive the death of its host. And I don't mean that in the famous people live forever way. I'm being very literal here. Of course, all of this hinges on the idea that this consciousness really exists. That there is more to our bodies than mere flesh and bones. That there's more to our personalities than mere electric signals coursing through our neurons.
That doesn't explain why you're testing this technology out before figuring all this stuff out.
If you have any ideas of how we're supposed to do that without experimenting on actual synthetics, I'm all ears.
You try to come up with some kind of answer to her seemingly idiotic challenge, but you can't. You don't have the knowledge needed to propose any alternative, especially in your weakened mental state.
I know that it feels like we're throwing darts at a wall and hoping that they stick the landing, and that those darts are literally actual people. But science isn't just about theorizing and coming up with cool explanations that sound all good and nice as long as they're in your head. Sometimes you have to take risks, be bold, make sacrifices.
Except you're asking that sacrifice of me.
I'm not asking anything of you. I'm just presenting you an opportunity, a choice. Every other synthetic that's alive today, or who they were for a transition if you want to be stingy about it, knew the risks. And now you know as well. I know that it's not safe, that it's not proven, that it's not a perfect answer to your problem. But the only way to get to the point where it will be safe, proven, and certain is through live experimentation on willing candidates. That's why we collect all data post-transition, to try and figure this riddle out, to answer one of life's greatest questions. Whether human souls truly exist or not.
The existence of human souls. That's something you never expected a supercorporation to research, not even to an end as wacky as this. It's one of those questions you always wanted an answer to, but never thought you'd actually be able to answer. You ask yourself what you think the answer is, almost as if on reflex. But the cold shivers down your spine and your rapidly quickening heart rate soon convince you to cease. You try to silence that malicious feeling, hoping you can simply forget it as if it never existed. All in vain. In the end, all attempts at processing the information presented to you end up there, with you pondering on your own mortality, coming to terms with the expiration date placed on you by your brain, wondering whether there's anything you can do to alter it. You'd resigned yourself to your fate, for there was nothing more science could do to help you. But now, this new opportunity presented itself, restoring a faint spark of hope within your heart, only for it to flicker and disappear as quickly as it once arose. So, it's a gamble. You're betting on your transition or whatever to actually do its job and save me. Betting my life on it.
Oh, I'm not betting anything. You are. Like I said, all I'm here to do is give you a chance. Even if it's just a shot in the dark.
Come on, save it right here. I typically save every 4 to 5 minutes.
That's fine, don't worry. It's up to you whether to take it or not.
But
think about it this way. If you don't accept my offer, you're guaranteed to die 100%. I've given a brief look at your file. You had good reason to look as gloomy as you did when I first saw you. You know what lies ahead better than I do. It's not gonna be pretty. But if you accept my offer, who knows what might happen? Maybe you will still die and nothing will have changed. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll become one of the first humans to ever cheat death itself.
you don't know what to think anymore. You feel your heartbeat increasing with every passing moment as you consider the woman's words. Be honest. What are my chances?
It's a binomial test, really. Either you survive or you don't. We can spend all day theorizing your likelihood of success, but that's about it. Theorize. Your actual chances? Either 100% or 0%, depending on the truth.
The mad scientist's face now looms mere inches away from your own, her sharp pupils staring straight into yours. You find it impossible to evade her gaze, no matter how hard you try.
I know it's not very credible given I'm the one suggesting this possibility to you, but if I were you, I'd totally risk it. I mean, at best you get a new life to play around with, and at worst, you just get exactly what you would have gone had you not done anything in the first place.
That's what you were thinking, too. You can't deny that your chances of survival, assuming there's any in the first place, are higher with her plan than without it. Yet still, a strange, nagging feeling at the back of your head keeps bothering you. I just can't understand. Why me? There are countless people, some even in this very room, who deserve a second shot at life more than I do.
I suppose you're right in a way.
You suppose? What's that supposed to mean? The cat smiles as she nods at you, confusing you even further.
Tell you what, do you want me to give it to you straight? I picked a folder at random from my locker and it happened to be yours.
Are you fucking kidding me? The scientist appears a little surprised by your sudden outburst.
What? You were expecting some sort of careful consideration, or maybe a more routine, heavily scrutinized roulette? I happened to pass by and decided to look for a new candidate for our experiments here. I chose a folder at random and it happened to be yours. And that's about it, really.
You almost puke at her explanation, disgusted by the sheer randomness of it all. This is so messed up.
Oh, really? I beg to differ. Tell me, do you believe in fate, in destiny, in the idea that all our actions are preordained by God, the universe, or something else beyond our understanding?
Yet another ridiculous, out-of-the-blue question, but you feel like you've gotten used to it by now. You reluctantly share your answer, barely suppressing the anger that it causes you as you do. Well, I guess something's responsible for me landing here at my age.
Huh. So it's a yes? Interesting. I thought determinism had fallen out of vogue with young people these days.
Excuse me?
Forget it. It's just a fancy way of saying that I'm getting old.
Wait, how old are you again?
Either way, pretty cool answer, kid. Most people would just blame themselves in your position, or maybe someone else with nothing to do with it. It's nice to know that you're precisely aware of where the blame for this all lies.
You struggle to follow the woman's explanation, though you pick up that she seems pleased with you for some reason.
Anyway, to answer your previous doubts, if everything truly is preordained, then clearly me picking you at random out of all those photos is meaningful too. If you weren't chosen by me, then maybe you were chosen by the universe or something like that.
I don't think it's that simple.
Maybe it isn't, but that's not the point. Destiny or no destiny, you now have a one-a-lifetime opportunity before you. Quite literally, if I may add. Only you can choose whether to take it or not.
But why me? Why do I get this opportunity and not someone else? You'd probably be shouting at the top of your lungs now, if only your throat could afford that. Instead, you just whisper harshly at the cat lady, your words half dying before even leaving your mouth. Why me and not a child who suffers from my same condition? Some probably have it worse than I do. Mary stands motionless by the side of your bed, once more incapable of meeting your gaze. Not even her cool facade can hide the pain and discomfort she feels as she listens to your heavy, heartfelt words. I'm gonna say it right here.
Sure. I think we can pretty much get rid of the entire prologue now.
Yeah.
We keep pushing.
Okay. Oh, sorry. If children are a no-go, there's still countless people who've done more to earn this than I did. Give me 1 second. My headset is beeping and letting me know it's about to die. Let me plug it in. Damn it, cord. Okay.
Professional YouTube stream right here. Kidding.
What's up? What'd you say?
Nothing.
Okay. People have dedicated their lives to saving others, to help those in need, who've got something bigger than them worth living for, who've deserved a second chance time and time again. And yet, they're all going to die. All the same. Death will claim their lives despite their achievements and dreams, just as it will yours. Only now do you realize the sheer insanity of it all, of dreaming, of hoping, of living. All for what? For it all to end? Just like that? Without so much as a warning? You recall your younger cousin, who's dreamed of being an astronaut and going to space ever since he was old enough to speak. His parents, your relatives, who've always tried to rein him in because it was never going to work out. Your other uncle and aunt who've taught you ever since you were little to do good and be nice to others so that God may smile upon you. Your mother, who only half a year ago was yelling at you to get your act together and start thinking about the future. All the things you were promised. The foundations you spent your whole life so far building, step by step, brick by brick, in anticipation of what's to come. Only now do you realize how pointless it all was, when all it took was one odd turn of the wind to make everything crumble into dust. Life is so fucking unfair! You cry your heart out like never before, so much so that it physically hurts. Every tear that comes streaming down hurts you like a knife wound. You gasp for air like a newborn, slowly, continuously, painfully. You probably look like a maniac right now, finally befitting the madhouse that surrounds you, but you don't care. It doesn't matter. Nothing does. Nothing ever did. The realization hurts you more than the cancer ever could. Mary looks away for a moment, lost in thought, melancholic. She doesn't seem to know what to say. Perhaps she's contemplating leaving you to your fate, to run away from the sorry mess you've become. You wouldn't blame her. You'd get away from yourself too, if only you could. And yet, she remains. Silent, unmoving, contemplating, pondering over something you can't quite grasp. Beyond the liquid curtain that veils your gaze, she remains bold and stoic, like a pillar holding the madness that is the ceiling from crumbling on top of you. You stare at her intently as your body trembles, as your lips freeze, as your eyes almost go blind from all the crying. With nothing left to do, all you can do is wait. Wait, and wait, and wait. Until Suddenly, she turns to face you yet again, an almost malevolent smile on her face.
Life is fucking unfair, isn't it? Go on. You're right to say it. It's true. Nobody will admit it, but it's true. You work and work and work, and all for what? For life to slap you in the face and call you her bitch, piling problems upon problems on your back until it breaks. What did you do to deserve this? What did we do? What's life punishing us for exactly? For existing? For daring to try and live against all odds? Doesn't it make you mad? Doesn't it make your blood boil? All these years of studying and working and doing all you can to live a meaningful life, and this is how it repays you? With brain cancer?
You feel a need to reply, but you cannot bring yourself to utter a word. The cat voices aloud your every deepest thought, your every fear and resentment, even those you never knew you had.
We didn't choose to be born. Not in this world, not in this body, not in these circumstances. And yet here we are. Because life doesn't care about us. It never did. And even on the off chance that we do end up liking our time here, we live in constant fear of a day where it'll all end. Such a miserable existence, been fearful and cowering for the whims of fate. Don't you find it unacceptable? Don't you long for agency like I do? For the power to choose your own life, to choose what you wish to do, without fear of senseless constraints like gender or rage. For the power to decide if and when it all ends.
The people around you raise their heads, wondering what all the commotion is about. You can hardly notice them now, fully enamored with her spiel as you are. All your sadness, all your regrets, all your despair, they all lie before you in their graceless glory, taunting you with their unbridled power. And the cat is right. They do make you mad.
You know what I want to do? I want to shove my big furry fist up life's ass. Show the whole world we don't have to bow down to it anymore. That we don't have to play by its rules if we don't want to. And I know you want the same thing. That's why I'm here. Because you want me here. You try to deny yourself this opportunity of bringing other people into this, but we both know what you really want. You don't want others to steal those opportunities from you. You want to take it. You want to rebel against life just as much as I do. You're just waiting for someone to give you their permission to do so, to help you feel like you deserve this. Well, here I am. I want you to do this. I want you to claim what is rightfully yours.
She frantically reaches for your hand, grasping it as tightly as she can with her own.
I'll give you my first and final bullet. Our only shot at immortality. It falls on you to make it count. It's time for humanity to rise up against nature. To finally claim our lives as our own. And if you want to be there when that happens, if you feel like you deserve more than the sorry lot life handed you.
With her free hand, she reaches into her pocket and slowly takes out a large bundle of papers.
You'll sign these papers.
Ooh, spooky in there. The rest of your memories of those dark days aren't as clear. The more you try to remember, the more details escape your grasp. In your head, what should be a simple sequence of actions and events. I'll die either way. What difference does it make to you? Dates. Oh, who's this?
Someone else.
You want me to voice this one too?
Sure.
Okay. Male or female?
Female.
Okay. Isaac, I swear to God, don't do this to me! Places.
Ignore the crowd. Just rest and relax. We'll take care of them.
People.
The tumor is progressing even faster than we thought. We'll need to speed up our preparations, and fast.
Everything clashes together into a mad amalgam, devoid of substance or purpose. Does it even matter anymore? You've made your choice, and now you'll die with it. There's one moment you recall, though. One perfect photo of your last moments, forever imprinted onto your very soul, its details crystal clear even now. You recall a dark room, hidden far beneath the earth. You recall many faces staring down at you from windows all around, either working on computers or merely watching as you draw your last breaths. You recall a deep mist, cold and damp, stalking in the corners of the room, sometimes even seeping through the glasses you were looking through to tickle your skin and chill the blood in your veins. No, that last part can't be right. You're in a laboratory, not a haunted mansion. And yet, in those final moments, perceiving reality for what it truly was had become quite a challenge. Like reality had somehow lost its touch on you, replaced by something else. Or perhaps you were simply going insane. The cold had quickly become unbearable. You felt as though you were walking through a blizzard in the nude. You would have probably laughed at that silly mental image had you still been capable of it. Despite the temperature outside, the inside of your throat was coarser than a desert. You weren't going to last long. It was painfully obvious by now. You could lose consciousness for the final time at any point for any reason, and each time you realized it felt that inexorable moment inching closer and closer. Distractions. You needed to find some distractions. You reached forward with your finger, as much as your body would allow, and touched the thin but sturdy glass that now separated you from the tenebrous room before you. It was remarkably warm to the touch for some reason. You felt the urge to leap forward and hug that glass with everything you had, wrapping every limb at your disposal around it as tightly as you could. But after a long struggle that almost drained you of what little energy you had left, you were forced to settle with just your finger. How pathetic, and how ironic, too. Only now did you realize the absurdity of your decisions. You traded your bed in the hospital for a coffin in a laboratory. You couldn't help but chuckle at the thought, as much as your body allowed you to anyway. It was more of a deep, raucous cough than anything else, really. As you tried to recuperate from that coughing fit, you spotted a friendly face peering down on you from beyond the glass. She'd never left your side that day, and she'd made a promise not to do so even now.
I was in a good mood, and that's good. They do say laughter is the best medicine. I would know. I did a piss on my friends all the time, and look at me now, as healthy as an apple.
In spite of how nonchalant she tried to appear, you could feel a certain nervousness thinly veiled beneath the feline's voice, a nervousness that she was trying as hard as she could to keep buried deep within her. Somehow, she knew that you could tell. Her smile became fainter as she sat down next to your capsule and rested her open palm right on top of your finger.
Well, this is it. A couple of minutes of waiting, and then it's all or nothing. How do you feel, kid?
You made as if to answer, but you were too weak to even mutter the simplest of words. In the end, your hushed replies couldn't pierce the glass between you two, as much as you tried. Nevertheless, she grimly laughed as she peered into your sickly eyes, just a few steps away from total oblivion.
Right. Scared, huh? I get that. Can't say I blame you. I'm freaking out too, lying there with you right now.
Her smile darkened somewhat, as if pondering on the eventuality that all of this may indeed have been in vain, but it only lasted for a second. When she turned to face you once again, her face was as confident as ever, perhaps even more than it had ever been.
I'll tell you what I told all the others. You're gonna get through this. I know you will. You're going to win this battle, for all of us, and I'll be here waiting for your triumphant return from the dead.
Her tone was firm, but fond, and her every word beamed with an immeasurable degree of pride and confidence. In a way, she almost felt like family in that moment, like the mother or father you so desperately wished were by your side.
Oh, and you can bet we're throwing a party once you wake up, too. There's gonna be cake, soda, maybe a little alcohol, and all those weird party games for nerds that I can't understand for the life of me.
She couldn't help but laugh at her own remark, stupid as it was. In your mind, you smiled and laughed alongside her. If nothing else, it was a nice thought to go to sleep on.
You best not ditch your own party, Isaac. Know what I mean?
You nodded as best you could. You weren't going to miss that party, of that you were sure. And if you were truly doomed not to attend, you'd still give death an ass-kicking for the ages trying to get there. The feline's ears perked up as she heard something you couldn't quite make out. She looked into the balcony up top, where her colleagues and assistants were preparing the machines for the procedure, and gave them a thumbs up. She then turned to face you, one last time, as she got up from her improvised seat on your tube.
Right. Better get going now. It's about time. I'll see you on this side, kid. Don't keep me waiting too long.
You then felt something tickle your nose, like a feather brushing right under your nostrils. After that, a gentle smell of honey and sugar began to overtake you from within. You felt your hand, now devoid of all strength, fall limp on your chest as your eyes rolled upwards and your eyebrows shut tight. After that, you felt nothing at all.
And that's it.
Nope.
It's
Okay.
been some time, but that's chapter 1. And this is
Sweet.
sadly where this part ends.
Awesome. That was awesome. Oh, I can't wait.
You can return to the main menu now if you want. I don't know if it's changed or not.
Okay. Oh,
No.
preferences.
It's
and
fine.
then-
Main menu. Welcome to No More Future.
Oh,
That's our boy, or girl, or person.
I like that. I like that music.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the music
There's
for this?
it's actually 3 people. The original musician for this is Gator Tots. Then I asked more music from Eamon, who's a musician and also developer of the VN The Blue Cloth. And we also have a bunch of tracks from everybody's favorite musician, Leslie, or Hop, Skip, and a Chew Toys, who's pretty much contributed to everything. That's good.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, 3 musicians working on this? That's incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing team. We've got a way bigger team than we should for this novel, but there's just so many things to do. Hold on, let me count them real quick. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people in the development team. Of course, they all participate in development to different degrees, but it's still a pretty nice team to have. But this was basically all for the prologue. You guys will be happy to note that you won't have to wait long for the rest of the novel to become accessible, because we release the rewrites tomorrow, which means that you can experience everything so far and then a lot more on your own, or you can continue following Neri's playthrough if you choose to continue it.
So, will I be able to use my save with the new update?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, I love to hear that. I hate starting from the beginning.
Honestly, I know that the prologue so far was a little bit like depressing and stuff. The novel is definitely gonna be a lot less depressing from now on. It's still gonna it's not gonna be like all fun and roses and stuff from now on, but it's gonna be a lot of stuff basically. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and I'm very excited to see how this develops.
Awesome. Thank you, Sedge, once again so much for your contribution to this video. I really appreciate it. You're a pretty good voice actor.
Thanks.
But anyway, guys, this has been Neri from Drakewing Gaming. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.